distinguished members of the Forum, distinguished observers and friends, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, I now have the honor to invite the Secretary General of the United Nations, His Excellency Ban Ki-moon, to make a statement. Sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Doli Sambadoro. I'd like to sincerely congratulate you for your election to the chair of this forum, permanent forum of indigenous people. You can count on the Secretariat, and I wish you all the best. This permanent forum is a vital mechanism to ensure that the international community listens to the voices and concerns, the hopes and aspirations of indigenous peoples in every corner of the world. Since it was established in the year 2000, the UN Permanent Forum has become recognized as the world's primary arena for deliberations of issues related to indigenous peoples. Its success depends on the extent to which different partners, member states, indigenous peoples, UN agencies and others continue to work closely together to identify creative solutions for some of the most complex and intractable problems affecting the indigenous peoples. Indigenous peoples around the world must have the right to determine their own priorities and maintain their traditions, cultures, and identity. As you launch your discussions, I want to reiterate the commitment of the United Nations and my own personal resolve. You can count on my full support for the rights of all indigenous peoples to live a life of dignity, peace, and well-being. I wish you a very successful and productive session. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you.
I thank the Secretary General for his statement. I also thank him for his recent visit to Greenland, to the Arctic, and am particularly impressed that he enjoyed the muktak in Greenland. I would like to pay tribute to the indigenous peoples of the world who continue to struggle for recognition of and respect for their distinct human rights, sometimes sacrificing their own lives in the process. I call upon all of us, and especially UN member states, to work together to make meaningful and worthwhile changes through this forum for the survival, dignity, security, and well-being of all indigenous peoples. Kuyana Swak. Thank you. I'd now like to call upon Ronald Waromi from the West Papua Interest Association. Are you present? Thank you very much. Please, you have the floor.
Distinguished Madam Chair of the United Nations Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues and members, Indigenous brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank you very much for giving us, the West Papua indigenous people, the opportunity for presenting our statement in the stating session of the United Nations Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues. We West Papua indigenous people continue to suffer discrimination, marginalization, extreme poverty, the conflict, and human rights abuses, our race and way of life under the threat of extinction. Over 51 years, since 1963, the West Papua joined with Indonesia. Our human rights and fundamental freedom in West Papua have never been fully guaranteed. This has been impeding the economic and social development of the indigenous people in West Papua. This political process is still being questioned by West Papua indigenous people and have called for independence. In the era of the implementation of the Special Autonomy Law No. 21 of the year 2001, amidst various humanitarian problems, although the special autonomy was granted as a means and solution to improve the life of West Papua indigenous people, the human rights violations in West Papua continue to increase, health problem, education, infrastructure, and welfare problem persist and increasingly deteriorate. Indigenous people of West Papua are far from having reached the Millennium Development Goals. The evaluation of the special autonomy implementation for 11 years that did not benefit the indigenous people of West Papua and not shown any significant change, the Indonesian central government have established a new special unit for the acceleration of development in Papua and West Papua province, UP4B, through the Presidential Decree number 65/2011 and number 66/2011 to overcome the conflict and improving the welfare of West Papua indigenous people. At the beginning of the year 2013, Indonesian central government have announcing the new approach through the Special Autonomy Plus to overcome the problem in West Papua and will change the Special Autonomy Law become Papua government law. However, indigenous people of West Papua rejected the acceleration of development in Papua and West Papua province and the Special Autonomy Plus. After the United Nations Human Rights Council Working Group on Universal Periodic Review, 13th session adopted the report on Indonesia in May 2012, the human rights violation in West Papua continue to increase. The indigenous people have no freedom of expression. The human rights violation occur in Sentani, Jayapura, Tinggi Namut in Puncak Jaya, Lani Jaya, Wamena, Moanemani, Manokwari, Sorong, and the tribes conflict in Yayanti, Timika. Through the 13th session of the UNPFII, we West Papua indigenous people call upon the United Nations for exercising the referendum on self-determination to determine our political status according to the provision contained in the Charter of the United Nations, Article 1 of the ICCPR, ISEC, and the Article 3 of the UN Declaration on the Right of Indigenous People, which state that all people and indigenous people have the right to self-determination. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Waromi, for your statement.